Keep it up. Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Yes, focus, focus.
Hey guys, Easy.zd here with another Earth Spirit flowchart on how we play the game. So this is a new one for me. I've never made anything like this, and this is honestly mostly for me because I've been playing a lot less Dota recently, and it's really hard to like get back into the mindset of how to play this hero because there's kind of like a set way of you make decisions in the early game, and then like if you don't play the hero every day, once you do play him, you kind of forget and you kind of just be like soaking XP in the lane and just like kind of being useless throughout the early laning stage. So yeah, so this flowchart is for me and for you to get to know Earth Spirit better and to just, I guess, put my thoughts into words on a screen that I can look at before I start a game. So yeah, I'm going to be using this flowchart hopefully quite often before queuing up into games, okay? So without further ado, let's proceed. Alright, so first thing is you want to start your game and you want to pick Earth Spirit. Alright, so the first part of this flowchart is that is Earth Spirit available? So for example, is he banned? And if he is banned, then well, you gotta just ban the game at that point, right? You can't play Earth Spirit, abandon the game. Alright, so I'm completely serious. Okay, so then let's say he is available. So let's just proceed to think about our lane and determine the lane impact that we will have moving forward. Okay, so the first thing I always think about while playing Earth Spirit is that is the mid lane gankable, and when I mean this is I think about it in two ways. I have to think about it in the our team's mid and the enemy team's mid. Alright, so if our team mid is a Medusa or an Alchemist or some random farming hero, I'm not going to go and gank the mid lane. It's like impossible. They don't have a stun. It's so hard to lock them down unless there's like a really clear opportunity where maybe the enemy mid laner is a quarter HP and then you can roll in and just push back and just like kill them. That's fine. But from 75% to 100% HP, those kind of heroes can't kill anything, right? So what I'm looking for is heroes like Sniper, Storm Spirit, and Puck. So Puck is a bit of an exception because he has Orb. You have to wait for the Orb to come out and then you can kill him pretty easily, honestly. Sniper, very easy as well. He naturally shoves out the lane with Sharpnel, and if he steps like anywhere close to your river, you can just roll and push him back. Same with Storm Spirit, very aggressive laner, loves to be on top of your own high ground. So you can just TP in behind the trees and you can just roll on him and just get a really quick kill and go back to offlane, right? So is the mid lane gankable? In this case, let's say it's a Sniper mid against my Shadow Fiend. Yes, definitely gankable. Shadow Fiend has high damage. Sniper will just die, melt with a slow and a stun from you, right? So what do I do if the mid lane is gankable? I have to get level 2 as soon as possible. You soak XP in the lane, you pull the creeps back into, you cut the lane, you pull the creeps back, do anything to get your level 2 ASAP, alright? And then while I'm getting that level 2, I have to ferry out a smoke, a TP scroll, and a clarity. Clarity to regen after the gank. TP scroll is kind of my new meta of like having a TP scroll ready, because usually what I do is here, I watch the mid lane, and then when it pushes into the tower, I will TP behind the trees and do a rollback push. Oh, sorry, a roll pushback, right? And then having the extra TP later on. Usually, what happens is that the enemy mid laner will request a gank from their own supports, right? And then having that extra TP is very important to counter gank them, and then get more kills for your mid laner, right? So I love having an extra TP on Earth Spirit in the early game. And then finally, you want to also, if you don't want it, sorry, there's also one more thing. You could also ferry out a smoke. If you don't want to TP to the lane, you can just buy a smoke and then show yourself top, quickly smoke and just run to mid, right? Or roll to mid as well, because you have enough seconds for it to be up again. So this one is rare, a bit rarer, I guess. I like doing the TP one better, but it's definitely possible to just walk to the mid lane and kill them, right? Especially if especially if it's like the 3-minute rune spawns, and then you go snatch that, and then you just proceed to go towards the mid lane after that. Definitely possible, right? So anyways, after that, after we get the kill, because we will definitely get the kill, we just return to the lane, in this case I guess the off lane, and we want to pull the hard camp, or if the timing is good, you can also stack the creeps in your triangle, right? Or what you can also do is that, because the mid laner is TPing back to lane, if you can get the kill again, if your mid laner has enough mana, has enough HP, and because you have that clarity, right? You clarity up, and you have enough HP and mana to, even if you die, it's fine, because it's so incredible if you can kill them the second time, and their TP is off cooldown, and they have to walk back into the lane. It honestly almost just wins the lane outright if you can double kill them right after the first kill, right? Okay, and then finally, what you can also do is that you could plant a deep ward into the jungle, and try to catch them again in the jungle. So this is usually, you're moving towards the end of the laning stage. Your offlaner or mid can help you out and smoke into their jungle with that ward that you planted. I like planting it early because it's a lot harder for them to know that you planted it, I guess, right? And they usually supports will put their wards first, and they might catch you putting the jungle ward, right? So if you put it earlier than they put their wards, then you can actually have that ward stay up a bit longer than usual, I guess, or actually just not get caught in the first place. Okay, so now that we've figured out if the mid lane is gankable, what do we do next? So if the mid lane is not gankable, I think what should I do is I should tell you about the items that I do if I think the mid lane is gankable. So it doesn't really matter actually, the mid lane is gankable or not. Depends on the lane. Usually I would just go tango and earn components, is already enough, right? You can also go for a sentry to block the small camp if you feel like that's more value, or if you want to you'll sacrifice some earn components as well. So or even just go tango, salve, one earn component, right? And then a sentry, or I think also tango, stick for maybe, I've seen PA, you get safe lane PAs or even carry BBs in the safe lane. So like stick is super value, even more than like a Mangor or salve in the early game, right? So yeah, so this I guess quadrant doesn't really matter too much what you want to buy. It depends on the lane. Okay, so next up, is the mid lane gankable? And if the answer is no, because let's say the enemy mid laner is a Medusa, the enemy mid laner is a what else are hard here? Yeah, BB, Timber Saws, like you ain't killing these heroes in the mid lane, right? So if the answer is no to that, now you have to think about your own lane. So is our kill potential high? And the reason I asked this question after the mid lane question is that if you help out the mid lane and if you suppress the enemy mid laner a lot, their mid game becomes so bad. Like they have to catch up, and then the mid laner can rotate, and our mid laner can rotate because we gave them really good kills in the lane. The tempo of the game just swings in our favor so much faster, or so much more efficient. I don't know, that's not the word. So much more aggressively if the mid laner has a good game rather than the off laner has a good game, right? So, but then if we can't really give the mid laner a good lane, then the second option is to give our off laner the best lane that they can. And if our kill potential is high, we can just keep killing the safe lane. Same idea, right? Safe laners usually, if they don't get a good start, they can still come back. But at the same time, if we keep killing them again and again, mental damage, very important. But at the same time, just like you put the ward in the jungle and they still can't catch up again, right? They can't recover, and we still win that way as well. So I feel like getting the mid lane a good game wins you like the game 80% of the time. Getting your off laner a good game wins you the game 60% of that, something like that, right? So that's why this is my second question. And let's say the answer to that question is our lane kill potential high, is a yes. We'll then proceed to secure the range creep and cut enemy creep. So I think I did mention this, but then like good offlaners with Earth Spirit are Monkey King, Slardar, Viper, like these heroes like can do damage, can kill the enemies, I guess. Like you roll and push back one person, and oh yeah, and it also depends on like the enemy's draft as well. If the safe laner is a BB carry in the safe lane, or like what else is like pretty popular nowadays? I don't know. TA maybe, it depends on the lane, right? If you can't burst through the refractions, then it kind of becomes a hard kill, for example. Right, so heroes like this are a bit harder to kill, so that might swing the answer to no a bit, but generally if you find like really good offlaners on your side that has good damage and just benefits from your roll and kickbacks or your roll and slows, then feel free to answer this question as a yes. And then what you should really do is that you want to secure the range creep and cut the enemy creeps. So this is when you walk behind the tower, you get the creeps and you bring them to our area, right? And then when you do this, you know, the creeps, the equilibrium moves towards your tower, and then it's much easier to run them down and get the kill. You don't even need level 2 for this, honestly, right? If you can get your offlane to level 2 faster, then that's like perfect. But roll is actually just enough, or just slow is enough to get the kill. Yeah, once your offlaner gets level 2. So yeah, so here secure range creeps, usually I try to take the kick, but sometimes I do really need the roll to get a safe cut in, right? Depends on the enemy support as well. If I think that the enemy support can kill me while I cut the creeps, then I might just opt for the roll. If not, I'll just get the kick and then I'll just secure the range creep as best as I can. Alright, then offlaner gets level 2, you roll in, or you use your kick to force them to expend their regen. You know, you hit them, monkey hits them, get the jingle off, and then they gotta back off, and then they gotta regen, expend their regen really quickly, and then you start getting multiple kills. Right, so I won't go back to the items here. So because you're actually expending their regen, they're also will be expending your regen as well. So I like maybe 6 tangos in this lane. Even a salve or venom is pretty good as well in the lane, right? But you gotta also make sure that your monkey king or your starter isn't also getting over venom. That's very important, right? So try to get more regen in lanes like this where you want to kill them multiple times. Yeah, that's it. And then once you've got them dying a lot of times, you just want to do the same thing. You plant the deep ward, and then you start. Yeah, and then you start. What am I saying? You plant the deep ward, and then you start killing them in the jungle instead of in their lane, right? And then let's say you do this like 2-3 times, right? Sometimes you notice that okay, you kind of see here it comes back to determine lane impact. This is because once you've killed the enemy 2-3 times, maybe it gets harder. They get some more levels. For example, like I said, TA, if she has more refraction chargers, it becomes a bit harder to kill, and maybe the answer will become a no, right? So you want to go back here and see, okay, is midlane gankable now? Now that you have level 2, now you have level 3, now that your enemy, your invoker has meteor ready, right? Then you can think of coming back to this question and coming back to this question and asking yourself, is the mid lane gankable now? And now that some time has passed, right? About that, I kind of rambled a bit, so we're just gonna go back to this third diamond. And this third diamond here basically is what if your kill potential in lane isn't that high, right? So it's a no, but the enemy lane is also very passive and doesn't really have any kill potential on your offlaner. So in this case, I believe the way that you want to play this is that you want to really just block the small camp, the sentry, so that they're position 5. They can't pull back the lane and get it to a pretty bad equilibrium for your offlaner. What you want to also do, you want to just cut creeps. You want to block the small camp, even though you've already blocked the small camp with the sentry. You block it again, and they might think that, oh, it was just your body that blocked it, but no, it was actually the creeps that you were it was actually the camp that you blocked with the sentry, right? So just double blocking it like that is also pretty good in general. And then you just want to position the creeps close to your offlaner and just let them farm, right? So like, you know, if your offlaner can't kill them, if they can't kill your offlaner, you just want them to be safe, and as well as just have like a good not deniable area that they can last hit safely, right? And this is like kind of the most boring lane because nothing's happening. And immediately what you want to think about is, if my offlaner can farm, right, can we leave our lane? If my offlaner can farm, all I want to look for is level 2. We're kind of back to this first quadrant right here. Or you can just leave it to stack, because let's say you are level 2 and then you look at you're back to the previous decision tree and it's a no again, then you can't really do much, right, in your lane or in the mid lane. So what you can do is you have to just stack, right? It's really boring Dota. Everyone's just trading farm, and sometimes that's just what happens, right? So you trade your farm, you get some levels, maybe you can find the kill on the enemy lanes, or you can just, you know, yeah, just try to be useful somehow, because it's kind of the worst lane, I think, in my opinion, the most boring lane too. So finally, if the lane isn't passive, let's say your offlaner, if the enemy lane is not passive, what this means is that you kind of need to be very careful, because your offlaner is gonna die a lot. These kind of heroes actually are like Juggernaut and Undying here, in my opinion. So Juggernaut, you know, the spin can basically 100 to 0 sum offlaners if they're not tanky enough, especially with the position 5 hitting them as well. In this case, I also chose Undying because he really benefits from 2 people being in the lane, because he wants to get those double strength saps off, right? And if you're not in the lane, let's say what my decision is that if the enemy lane is very dangerous, I will not stay in the lane. I will play with the pause 5 a lot, but the first thing I would do is I would ward behind the enemy tower as deep as possible, right? And just start sniping couriers, just being annoying. I'll come back to this point soon, but let's just go to wards. So what else you want to do is that you want to use your boots. Let's go back to items, sorry. So the items here, you just want to get your boots, right? And I believe just get your tangos and some observer sentries, right? Observer especially because you want to ward behind the tower, right? So you get your boots, you're really fast, you want to annoy the pause 5 and not let them cast any spells on your partner, which is very important. You want to tank all the spells and not let them combo with their safe laner. And you know, let's say CM Jug, you just want to play with the CM, get her low and not let that CM combo up with the Juggernaut spin. And yeah, you're just gonna be basically in their jungle, fucking them, honestly, right? Yeah. So next you want to block you're just back to the passive lane kind of. You just want to keep your offlaner safe, not die. You pull creeps, you cut creeps, you put them in towers, and then you think of leaving the lane. So usually if you can't leave the lane, if other lanes are static as well and passive as well, you just want to clip the enemy +5. I do this in some videos. We can go, I think I'll just put one right here. Yeah, it's playing right now. But you clip the enemy +5, it's pretty cool. Right, there's nothing else to do, so why not? And then you go back to annoying the pause 5, and actually you should actually be seeing to snipe couriers around this stage, because what's important is that even if the enemies can kill your offlaner, if they don't get their items in the lane, they don't get their salves, they don't get their extra tangles, they can kind of become a kill potential lane, right? That's why sniping these couriers are pretty important, especially if you plant that deep ward behind the enemy backline, behind the enemy tower, right? So yeah, I think that's it. So just, I guess, to summarize, you have 3 questions that you want to ask with 4 potential outcomes. The first question is mid lane gankable? Yes. You get level 2, you gank them. If no, you focus on your own lane. If it's a yes, you secure enemy range creeps and then you kill your own lane multiple times. And then if that's a no, if the lane is passive, if the whole lane is passive, that's the boring one. You just want to secure farm and just attack camps, honestly, right? There's nothing else to do in the game. And then finally is the enemy lane, not passive. Then this is where you want to like play. It's kind of fun. You just snipe couriers, you have boots very early on, and you just annoy the +5 as much as possible, and don't let them combo your offlaner to death, right? Very important situation, like role, I think, in this kind of lane. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. So anything? See you in the comments, and then take care. Have a good day. Bye.